Hey everyone, Doug Klutz here, and today I want to talk about a topic that is very important for your professional career development, and that deals with professional email etiquette. A big and timely topic today. I see mistakes made in this area all the time, so I want to address how to create professional sounding emails and how to properly use professional email etiquette. Emails are extremely quick. They're extremely easy to use. There's no barrier of entry in terms of scheduling an appointment with someone to meet face to face or talking with someone over the phone. Obviously, those are more sophisticated forms of communication. But emails are easy, but that doesn't mean that it gives you the excuse not to have professional sounding emails. And if you don't adhere to professional email etiquette standards, it can really cost you with your career. It can have really negative consequences. Even if you're a student or an early career professional, you always want to adhere to these professional email etiquette standards. And this is part of your professionalism portfolio. You have to be able to craft professional sounding emails when it comes to the work world. So let's start from the top and looking at creating emails. The first point, utilize that subject line. And make sure it's quick, it's to the point, it's well articulated. You don't need one or two sentences in there. Just a very brief, concise subject line that lets the reader know what your email is going to be about. I receive a lot of emails that have no subject line at all. So I have no idea what the sender is talking about. And a lot of times they just start rambling on in text. It's not a good professional look. Always use that subject line. The next point, your actual greeting to the person. Make sure that you use their official title when it's a work type relationship, especially when it deals with a boss or a supervisor or a professor. Never use someone's first name in that situation that you're not on a first name basis with, and especially if they're your superior at work. Comes across the wrong way to a lot of people. It can get you in a lot of trouble, and they might even say something back to you. So never use someone's first name. Never use someone's last name. I've seen that a lot where someone will just throw a last name out there. And you want to use someone's official title. Again, because we're dealing with professionalism here and perceptions are important. So make sure the greeting is on point and it addresses someone's official title. All right, the next point. Keep the text of your email brief. No one, or very few people, I should say, there might be someone out there that likes to do it, likes reading extremely long emails. And I'm talking about like the, multiple paragraph, novel format emails. I generally recommend one paragraph, maybe two paragraphs max. If it's going to be anything longer than that, make sure to extend the option, the reader of the email. If it's more convenient for you, if it will save you more time, would you like to talk in person on your own time schedule, or would you like to talk over the phone? I know that I would much prefer to address a very lengthy email in person or over the phone because usually it can be answered in just a few minutes, whereas if I'm responding to a multiple paragraph email, then that means usually I have to create a multiple paragraph email, and there's some follow-up emails after that, and we're talking about 30 minutes to an hour of time before you know it, when everything could have been resolved in that initial email if it was face-to-face or over the phone in just a few minutes. So keep your emails brief and to the point. Next point, always keep your emails professional. Always treat it as professional correspondence as you would talking to someone in a work setting, face-to-face or over the phone. Again, just because this is a quick form of communication doesn't mean you can just throw whatever you want in there and have it read however you want it. Make sure that it's professional sounding, and also realize that emails are not always private. So avoid addressing really controversial information or issues in there unless it's something directly work related that your supervisor would approve of. Keep in mind that it can get out there for other people to read, and you don't want to be talking badly about supervisors or employers or professors because stuff can get out there, and it has ruined a lot of careers in a lot of different situations because someone put something in an email that was totally unprofessional and it gets out into hands that they never thought it would get out into. So keep that in mind. Emails are not always private. And also, if you're working for an employer that doesn't allow you to access the work email at home, make sure you're adhering to those guidelines as well. Like if you have to be on a work-approved server and they don't want you on any private servers, that's gotten a lot of people in trouble in the past. Make sure you know the guidelines of your employer in terms of accessing that work email outside of work, and can you actually do that off of the employer's actual grounds. The next point, avoid asking too many questions in emails. I've seen emails that have been like 10 to 15 questions. There's a long list that would take an hour to respond to. It's kind of like the length of the email. I always say if it's over one or two questions max, always extend to the reader the option to meet in person or talk over the phone, because again, it can usually be addressed in a few minutes, whereas an email following up with all those questions will probably create another email follow-up with even more questions, and by then we're talking about like an hour to 2 hours of that reader's time. And a lot of people do not want to go through that at all in terms of this lengthy email back and forth. So I generally say, resolve multiple questions face-to-face or over the phone, because it saves a lot of time. All right, next point, always proofread your emails. Avoid silly typos. It surprises me how many emails I see with egregious typos. And if you're especially dealing with a work environment or contacting employers to follow up to an interview or answering some questions they have for you during the pre-employment process, it can come across very unprofessionally if your email is riddled with typos. So always check it once, have spell check enabled, check it twice, make sure that it's professional before you send that thing off, because once you hit send, it's in your the inbox of the recipient. So be careful. Make sure that you proofread stuff. This is not like a text communication, a text string, or some type of chat it up with a friend type of thing. You want it to be professionally sounding at all times, and you want it to not have a bunch of typos in it. And then the final point, keep in mind the time of your email, the time that emails are actually sent. It amazes me how many emails I receive that are like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., and sometimes the senders of the email even question why I'm not immediately responding. And there's a reason that I don't have emails automatically forwarded to my phone, but some people do. And just imagine how unhappy someone would be if they receive a non-emergency type email from you at 3, 4 a.m. and it wakes them up. This could really create a negative perception of you. My recommendation is to always keep emails during business hours, pretty much thereabouts. Don't send emails in the middle of the night. It can wait till the next morning. And also give people time to respond. I receive a bunch of emails, and sometimes I can't get to all my emails in a 24-hour period. So I usually tell people, there's a reason why I'm not responding. I will get to it as quickly as possible. But sending a follow-up email asking the original person that you're emailing why they're not responding creates an even bigger backlog, and I see that a lot. So give people time to respond. You don't want to come across as annoying or impatient and start spamming someone with a bunch of emails. They'll get to your email when they can. There's a good reason probably why they're not responding. So be cognizant of the time that you're sending your emails. Keep it business hours only, pretty much. And also give people the chance to respond before you start sending follow-ups asking why they're not responding to the initial email. So I think if you follow these pointers and watch out for these pitfalls, it will really help you with email correspondence, and it will make you stand out from the crowd, because unfortunately I see a lot of problems through emails, and a lot of people come across very unprofessionally, and they might not even know or they might not care, but it can really cost you when you get into your career field, because one mistake, again, that one faulty perception, those first impressions make lasting impressions kind of thing, you always want to adhere to professional standards, even when it comes to email and email etiquette. Emails are so frequently used. It's a preferred method of communication these days. And again, it's a lot easier to construct, and it doesn't have that social barrier of talking to someone face to face or meeting them or talking over the phone. But it can have a lot of consequences as well. So you just want to treat it professionally always. So hopefully this helps, and I hope that your emails are more professional in the future. And take care. Bye.